maçı hazırlanırken kafasında bir adım adım ilk 5 başlıyor veya kenardan geliyor. Tabii bu da farklı senaryolar ama adım adım ne yapacağını kafasına işliyor mu maç öncesinde? Kendisini şartlıyor mu? Tam bir altyapı sporcusu gibi. Neden böyle söylüyorum? Bir kere basketbol oynamayı çok seviyor. Ve bizim antrenman düzenlerimiz onun çok zevk alacağı şekilde. Çünkü her şeyi sayıyoruz. Hep bir rekabet ortamı var. Bunu çok seviyor. Hep kazanmak istiyor. 5'e 5'i de şut yarışmasında hep kazanmak istiyor ve basketbol oynadığı sürece, top elinde olduğu sürece çok mutlu. Bu ikinci bahsettiğiniz konu maçlarla, liderlikle alakalı. Açıkçası hani böyle bir takıma bir konuşayım, takımı yöneteyim, herkese hitap edeyim, birer birer herkese dokunayım veya maçın, idmanın bir yerinde şöyle bir tepki göstereyim de takım kendini toparlasın. Bu tip bir liderlik yapmıyor. Bu bizde daha çok Brian Dunstan, Kronislav Simon, Doğuş Balbay'ın yaptığı tarz bir liderlik. Ama şeyinin farklı bir lider özelliği var. Şu hiç vazgeçmiyor. Maçta, antrenmanda en çok kontrol alan, en çok dayak yiyen, en çok yere düşen, takla atan oyuncu şey. Ama hepsinde kalkıyor ve devam ediyor. Ne bir hakeme ekstra tepkisi var, ne kendine vuran oyuncuya ekstra bir tepki. Kalkıyor ve aynı kararlılıkta devam ediyor. Ona vururlarsa hatta daha agresif atak ediyor. Bu bence bu yönden bir takım arkadaşlarının peşine takıp sürükleyip böyle bir liderlik sağlıyor. Bizim açımızdan bence de bu çok önemli. Çünkü bahsettiğim gibi diğer yönlerden takıma abilik yapacak, sıkıntılı günlerde birebir konuşacak veya takıma, gruba seslenecek liderler var bizde. Bize biraz daha savaşçı, hani mücadeleden kaçınmayacak, zor günde elini taşın altına sokacak, sesi çıkmasa da yaptığı aksiyonlarla bunu sahada gösterecek oyuncu lazımdı. Yani o boşluğa direkt cuk diye oturdu şey. Çünkü diğer gardımız Miçic'ten de farklı tipte oyuncular. Oyun karakteri olarak. Miçic birazcık daha ikinci, üçüncü viteste oynuyor. Sahayı okuyor, topu paylaşıyor. Düşünüyor, planlıyor. 2-3 adım sonrasını hesap ediyor. Şeyin öyle değil. Şeyin kafasına bir şey koyuyor. Antrenmanda da bu böyle, maçta da bu böyle. Orada küçücük bir delik geliyor ve oraya bodoslama giriyor. Ondan sonraki adam o deliğe girdikten sonra, o karambole girdikten sonra ondan sonraki önüne çıkan ikinci problemle, ikinci savunmanın ikinci yardımıyla uğraşmaya başlıyor. Miçic farklı bir oyuncu. Miçic baştan bütün koridoru görmüyorsa, bütün önündeki 6-7 saniyelik sekansı görmüyorsa o adımı atmıyor. Şey öyle değil, daha cesur, daha gözü kara, belki daha hani cahil de diyebiliriz ama şeyin o deliği gördüğü yerde oraya atak ediyor. Önüne çıkan ikinci, üçüncü problemlerle ondan sonra baş etmeye başlıyor ve çok çabuk karar verebilen, çok çabuk aksiyon alan, çok çabuk tepki veren bir oyuncu ve bu sayede başarılı oluyor. Bence liderlik özelliği buradan geliyor. Yani bu kendini her türlü kendini hiçbir şeyden, hiçbir kontaktan, hiçbir mücadeleden, hiçbir acıdan kaçınmadan hep en ön safta savaştığı için arkadaşları tarafından seviliyor ve böyle bir liderlik özelliği var. Ben bunları paylaşabilirim.
Yakup şimdi
evet hocam.
Shane geldi. İstiyorsan ona bir şey yapalım.
Evet, mesaj da 62 dakika önce ben
Tamam.
konuşurken.
Shane, how are you? Thank you for coming.
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. How is your dad?
He's good. He's very good.
Okay. How is it? What is his age?
He's turning 56 today.
Okay. All our celebration from Turkish coaches.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a healthy age.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We were talking with Coach Jakub about your behaving during the practices. He described your practices attitude. And it was very interesting for us. We saw your games, so we couldn't see your practice sessions. So it was very helpful to describe your profile, and we heard a lot of good things from the coach Jakub.
Thank you. Good.
So as we talked
Which
before
is
with
surprising for Shane, little bit.
okay, let's start with your adventure in Anadolu Efes. You came maybe a couple of months. We saw a different type of Shane Larkin on the court. There are too many guards, and probably you don't know your role, or you cannot adapt yourself to Anadolu Efes. Then suddenly everything is changed. You become a leader, and you become maybe best. You show that you have one of the best player in EuroLeague. So what is the things that you have to think? You have to try to share with us about your feelings and about your work attitude and the mental workout during those months.
Well, everybody knows at first it was frustrating, it was difficult. Um, and I had played for so many different teams in so many different years that I needed to kind of find what my role is, what my situation was with the team. Am I a guy that needs to score the ball? Am I a guy that needs to play the main point guard role? Am I a guy who needs to, be a defensive guy? And each year going into the different teams outside of my 1 year in Victoria, I had a lot of different jobs on teams. So it took me a while to figure out exactly how Coach Ataman wanted me to play. He wanted me to be a scorer. He wanted me to be the main guy. And my mindset was just, try to stay healthy, try to stay aggressive, try to continue to work on your stuff, because eventually you'll figure it out. And then once you figure it out, then you just take off from there. So I just try to stay positive. It was difficult. Jakob could tell you it was difficult. But eventually I figured it out. I figured out what my role was. I figured out exactly how coach wanted me to play with the other guys on the team. And then from that moment on, I just gained confidence, got comfortable, and, went to where I've gone.
So those days, what was your routines to change your game performance?
Well, I was really just like frustrated. So I would go into practice and be very aggressive. I would be very aggressive, and certain practices, not every single practice, I would turn it on and like be very aggressive, talk a lot, get under guys' skin, and just really compete at practice to try to get my rhythm, to try to get into some type of game shape, game rhythm, because I wasn't playing that many minutes. So along the process, I just kept getting more reps and reps at practice. We play 5-on-5 basically every day. And that helped me stay in shape. And then it also helped me take that opportunity that I was given and just run with it.
Okay. Then what is your secret for Anadolu Efes, I mean, as a team? You miss a lot of players, but you keep playing the same type of game and you never quit. And now you have a really high confidence to win every game. So what is the key things in your team?
Well, I think the key for our team is, at least this year, is that we know exactly who we are. We know where we all fit in. We all know what our job is on the team. We're all comfortable doing our jobs, and we're all very unselfish players. Obviously, a lot of the times I'll have it going or Vasa will have it going, but coach has no problem, no player on the team has a problem giving the ball to Bruno and letting him like finish off a game, or giving it to Roddy and letting him finish off a game. I just think we all have so much confidence with each other, and we have so much confidence in each other that it makes us very difficult to play against, and it makes us very difficult to beat.
Another question is, probably last couple months, when you have a difficult games, first 20 minutes, you try to feed other player, your teammates.
Yeah.
And then on the crucial times of the game, when they need a score or a creative things on offense, you go your business and you do your work. So is there any plan before any game that you have? I mean, do you have any game plan before the tough games or the regular games?
I think it really just depends on the team that we're playing. Sometimes if I know it's not as strong of a team, I'll try to come on very strong very early, to try to give my team a good lead, and then just kind of pace it from there, stay aggressive, but start slowing down and get others involved. And then some games where I know it's going to be a tight game all the way down the stretch, sometimes in the first halves, I'll play a little more conservative, try to get my guys going. And then, like you say, in the third or fourth corner, I'll try to turn it on. So I would say mentally, I know who we're going against, who we're playing against. We watch a lot of film, so I kind of know everybody's strategies and stuff like that. But I think it just depends on the level of team, or the way a team comes out and tries to play against you guys. Like sometimes teams come out and try to be very aggressive. Sometimes teams come on and try to slow the pace down because we're up tempo team. So I think it just is all reads, and it goes into who we're playing against, where we're playing against them on the road or at home. It just is a lot of different things that go into my mindset going into each and every game.
And at the games, they try to defend you by 1-on-1, sometimes double team, or sometimes triple team, and the referees give a lot of credit to your defense to have the contact. So you go down, you have a lot of foul and a hard foul, but you never react to the referee and you stay in the game. So why and how?
I think because basketball is very mental, and if you allow the other team or the referees to get into your mind, then you won't be as calm, you won't be as poised, you won't be as focused at the end of the game, because you'll start thinking about a lot of different things, like, all right, I'm angry at the ref, or I'm angry at the other player, or you have all this pent up like energy inside yourself. But the best thing to be on the court is like calm and cool. So at the end of the games, some guys have attitude, some guys have, having a great game, some guys having a bad game, and a lot of guys wear it on their face, like you can tell. And yeah, I show emotion sometimes if I make some shots or if I'm not playing well. But for the most of the time when I'm playing, I have like a straight face. You can't tell if I'm happy or if I'm sad or if I'm in a good mood or a bad mood. And I think that's, all mental, how you go into it, not to like let your opponent read how you're feeling, if you're happy, if you're mad, if you're upset, if you're feeling great. So I think that's the key, going into the end of the games.
Okay. Now I ask the coaches if they have any question. Sorusu olan var mı?
Ben bir şey sorabilir miyim?
Lütfen.
Shane, hi again. Now most of the coaches now listening to you are also working in youth departments, not just in professional teams. So you are also now a nurture player. You're gonna play in our national team. Now you have been practicing with Turkish players since last season. I especially want your opinion about some Turkish players, young Turkish players like Onur Alp, Yiğitcan, Ömercan, Mustafa. I don't just want you to explain them one by one. Just can you compare our young players with the college players at the same ages, 18-year-old, like sophomore,
Yeah.
freshman, maybe junior college players? What are main differences that you notice? Of course, you can compare it with yourself and with your teammates. And
Mm.
also, if there is anyone that specifically you like, maybe you can mention one player that you believe can do much better in the following years.
So I think the biggest difference between college guys and our young guys that are on our team, like Omerjan, Onurab, when Onurab was on it last year, Medajan last year, Mustafa this year, Ichan this year. I think the biggest difference is um, truly, like, I mean, obviously, other than the athleticism, I would say just a more like, how would I describe it? I would say the players in Europe have better IQs because they're, grown through clubs. So I would say most players in Europe have better basketball IQs. They know how to play the game better. They're more unselfish. But I would say the guys that are in college have different mindsets. I would say the mindset is one of the biggest differences I see in Europe and in the NBA, or not the NBA, but in like college and high school basketball, because like kids in the States, they see an opportunity and they feel like this is my way out. Like this is the way I can make it. This is the way I can, become this, that, and the third, make money, provide for my family. So a lot of kids over there have a different like hunger and a different just like attack on the game of basketball. Whoever's in front of them, it could be an NBA guy, it can be a college guy, whoever it is, they're gonna just try to kill them because they think of it as a way out. And I think a lot of the time the kids in Europe don't have that same mentality. They play hard, they play aggressive, but I would say that even some of the young guys on our team, obviously we practice a lot, we play 5-on-5, the young guys get their opportunities at practice. I would like it if one of the young guys on our team would challenge Vasa or challenge me, or you know what I'm saying, like be more. I see what you're doing. I see what you're playing as a top level player in your league, and that's what I want to be. So I'm gonna challenge you every single day and try to kill you at practice because I know you're probably better than me, but I'm going to improve if I play against you every day and I challenge you and I learn from you at the same time. So I would say the biggest difference mentally is that, and then athletically, it's obviously a little different, but they definitely learn the game better in Europe. I would say that. I would say Omerjan, Mustafa, all these young guys that I played with over the last 2 years understand the game and can grasp a system or grasp a strategy quicker than guys in the States. Because the States, and it's like the different styles of play also. In the States, it's more one-on-one, who can cross over who can do this down the third. And in Europe, it's more so how can we get the best shot? Can we throw it inside of the post? Do we run a pick and roll? Do we run down screen actions? And it's just a difference of game. So, I mean, I think a lot of it goes into, I think the best for young kids would have like a mixture of all of it, like a mixture of like one-on-one with some random basketball with also the structure of European basketball. And I think then you can create these guys who can play anywhere and be successful at any level.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I have another question. Now, you first mentioned about the first couple of months in for last season, your first months with Anadolu Efes. Then, of course, we finished last season, and then this season, you guys picked up really quick where we left off. Everything was going well. Now there is another break. What do you think is gonna happen after this break? I mean the power balance among the EuroLeague teams, and individually about you. Do you think you can pick it up really quickly again and continue, or we need time to get prepared? What are you doing in this period? to keep your shape up? And what are your plans for the next couple of weeks?
Um, well, what was the first question? You asked like four questions.
You know, uh, first season in Anadolu Efes, it took a little bit time to keep up, to catch your rhythm, you
Right,
know. But
right,
this season, you started
right,
immediately with
right.
high tempo, your Shane Larkin basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
And now this is also a break, a real break. You know, 1 month we are not able to practice, and it looks like it will take 2 3 weeks more. How do you think it's going to affect your game personally? Also, as a team, Anadolu Efes, our game. And do you think if this make the change the balances in EuroLeague among the teams?
Um, I don't think it changes the balance. I think the top teams will still be the top teams. But I do think that, a team like us who was playing at a very high level, that was playing in a great rhythm. I missed like two of the last four games, but we still won those games by 20 plus points. Like we were in great rhythm. So I think for us coming back, I think we have an advantage on the other teams because we were already playing so well. It's not like we're coming from a negative place and then saying, okay, let's forget what we had going on. Let's try to focus on something new. We're kind of like, okay, we took this break, but let's try to get right back into the same rhythm, same flow of things. And our practice style is very similar every day. So we kind of have a routine, a set of drills, a set of things that we do. So I think, obviously, none of us played 5-on-5 basketball in over 6 weeks. So it's going to take time for like a week, 2 weeks for us to get our rhythm back, our chemistry back. But the good thing about our team is a lot of our stuff is just based on reads. Like we play up tempo. So we play a lot of down screens in transition. We play a lot of high pick and roll. We play kind of random basketball. And the good thing about us is that we're not somebody who you can really game plan for because we do a bunch of random stuff, which is why I don't think it'll be difficult for us to come back together as a team. But some of these other teams that haven't ran a play in six weeks may forget some stuff, or guys that are new to teams may forget some things. But we've been together for 2 years, basically doing the same thing all the time. So I think we have a really good chemistry and a really good bond. And individually, just trying to stay in shape, trying to keep my knees strong, trying to keep my lower body strong, trying to stay mentally sharp, watching highlights, watching different things, and just trying to be as much involved with the game of basketball as I can. So, I don't really know what's going to happen. Maybe we do come back in a few weeks, maybe we don't, but I think that everybody on our end with EFIS will be fine moving forward. And, some of these other teams in Spain that, guys stayed there, they'll probably stay at the top level too. But I don't think we'll have any issues moving forward.
Okay, thank you. Mesajlarda Esra'nın bir sorusunu gördüm hocam ama Esra da bağlanıp sorabilir. There is one more question, Shane.
All right.
Hocam sizi duyamıyoruz. Sesiniz kısık.
There's a question, Shane. What is your career plan? Short period for the long term, short term and long term.
I think I've learned very early in my career to not really plan ahead. Um, when I first got drafted in 2013, I planned and I was like, all right, I'll be in the NBA for the next 15 years. And that was my plan. And then all of a sudden, I got traded. And the next year, I signed as a free agent somewhere else. And then I ended up in Europe. Then I ended up back in the NBA. Now I've been in FS for 2 years. So, I don't know exactly where my future is gonna go. I know that I'm very happy in FS. If I'm in Europe, I'm probably gonna be in FS. That's just where I would like to be. Um, but I can't tell you. The end goal is always to challenge yourself, and I feel like if we can continue this season and we can win the EuroLeague and I can win the MVP award and I can accomplish a lot of these great things, then I don't know what the next step is. Do I come back and I try to repeat the same performance? Do I take on a different challenge? Do I do this, that, or third? But right now I'm not. I can honestly sit here and say I have not thought about my future one bit, because I've enjoyed this year more than I've enjoyed any other year in my career. So I'm just very happy living in the moment, very happy being, a Turkish citizen, very happy playing for Efes, very happy just everything in my life basketball wise has been great. So, I'm not focused on the future. I don't want to think about it. I just want to continue to enjoy, everything that was going on before the coronavirus, kind of ruined it.
Thank you. This was from Esra. And Baver, elini kaldırıyorsun. Sorar mısın lütfen? Yes, there's a question from Coach Baver.
Okay.
Soracağım mı? Peki. Maybe he will ask it later. And I have one question. You used a very good word, enjoying. So could you describe the coaching style of Ataman?
Yeah, I mean it's very enjoyable, especially if you win. Like you have you have ultimate freedom. You have a lot of confidence. He wants you to play for your potential. And I mean, there's not really much else you can ask for. There's a lot of coaches, I feel like, in the EuroLeague that don't let players play to their potential. A lot of guys are stuck in roles where they could be doing much more than what they're doing, but the coach kind of keeps them structured and doesn't let them kind of go. And I think every player on our team, at least in the last, 2 years since coaches got there, has taken a step up in their game. Vasa, myself, Adrian, Kruno's playing at an unbelievable level. Roddy's having great career. Obviously, Brian is a workhorse. Tibor, Sertac, like you see all these guys who are having good careers, and then they've gotten into our system, and we've gotten really comfortable with each other, and we've kind of all taken our play to another level, which is why we're sitting at the top of the league in Turkish league and in EuroLeague, because coach has given us the confidence, and it's a good thing, because if it doesn't start well, then it probably ends bad. But we started well, and everybody's just kind of rode the wave. I've had some ups and downs. Vasas has ups and downs. Everybody's had their ups and downs, but we've all continuously somehow, some way made it up to be more positive than negative. And I mean, now it's just, I think we're the most fun team to watch, to play with in all of EuroLeague. And I think we put on a really good show, and it's exciting and fun and enjoyable. And I mean, it's just very, like I said, very, very happy with where I am.
Any questions?
Soracağım. Shane, which position is more comfortable for you to play? In which position you feel yourself comfortable on the court? Point guard, when you lead the ball and everything, or shooting guard, maybe a little bit away from pressure and you meet with the ball where you can score? Plus, one more question connected to this. Which player, not just in Anadolu Efes, in your career is more comfortable to play with? It doesn't need to be a guard, it doesn't need to be a big guy. I just want you to name one player and explain us why.
Okay. So, then I would say the most comfortable guy that I play with, and this is not just because he's one of the best players ever, but Dirk Nowitzki was probably like the most comfortable I've ever been in the pick and roll with somebody, because whenever you would come off his screen, you had every option available because the defense was guarding him. You could come off the screen and shoot if you wanted. You can come off and drive. You can come off and try to pass it to him. But he created so many mismatches, so much pressure on the court just from his presence, that it kind of made it much easier to space out and play around him. Yeah, I would say him in the NBA. What?
Position-wise?
And position-wise, I mean, it really, truly, honestly doesn't matter. I just think the difference, I mean, at least in our system, it doesn't really matter because the 1 or the 2 or the 3 can bring it up and we play that kind of style. Now, if it was a more traditional offense where the point guard brings it up every single time and we get into a set, then I would like to be the point guard because I like to, get guys going, get guys involved. Now, with our system, if they score, sometimes I take the ball out and I just give it to Vasa and I run down the court, or sometimes Vasa gives it to me and we're interchangeable. So I think it just depends on the system, what position I would like to play more. But if we're talking about in our system, it just doesn't matter because I just want the ball when we can play in transition. If we call in a set offense, I'll run to the corner and let Vasa call the play.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bir soru gördüm mesajlarda Cem abiden galiba Murat Hocam.
Sen devam et Yakup.
Coach Cem Akta is asking one question. Shane, what do you think about punishment practice?
I think punishment practices are necessary.
What are those?
Sometimes, huh?
What are those? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they are, but I think sometimes they're necessary and sometimes they're very unnecessary. But I mean, it's part of like the European basketball culture. So, I'll be in there with the attitude, but I'll get through it.
Which ones are more difficult, practices or camps?
Camps. I mean, we got 2 days, so camp.
Yeah.
But I would think our season would be much more difficult if we lost. Like if we lost a lot of games, I probably wouldn't be sitting on this call right now because it would be a whole mess. But other than that, it's all good.
Bir tane daha, there's one more question from Coach Baver. Bunu ben nasıl çevireceğim bilemedim. Kritik maçlar öncesi psikolojik olarak antrenörden bitti. Okay, before the tough games, some crucial games, what are you expecting from your head coach? How psychologically, how do you want him to behave you and to your team?
Well, I want our coach to instill confidence. Before a big game, I think the coach should have confidence in his team and how you guys have prepared for the match. And Ataman is great at it because he has confidence every single day, everywhere he's at. So it's good because he comes in and we might be playing. I mean, I believe we're now the biggest team. But before, if we were going in and playing like Fenerbahce in Fenerbahce, he would come in and he'd be like, okay, we know what we have to do. We have to play our game style. And he'll say some more things to remember and things to focus on as the game begins. But it's short, it's confident, it's exactly what we need to do. And it's not overthinking. It's not like, okay, we play Fenerbahce this week, so we have to practice 2 times a week and we have to do 20 hours of film session. It's like, Fener's a great team. We're a great team. We do what we do. Let's practice hard. Let's take it seriously and let's just go out there and play. And I think that's, for me at least, that's the best way of a coach to be. Just very confident, very short, very to the point. And, I'm a very confident guy as well. So it's not much that needs to be said, but just say the key things and let's just go get into this game real quick. So I would like coaches to be confident, adamant, confident, aggressive, and confidence is the key. Confidence is the key.
Good. Coach Berk, could you ask the question, please?
Hi, Shane. You have an incredible explosive strength in one-on-one plays. You are making a good spacing for your teammates. How this shapes your offensive organizations in your team?
Well, a lot of teams now in the EuroLeague are trying to switch. And most of the time, if there's a guy out on the court with me, I'm quicker than him. So I kind of just read the defense. Some big guys like to play very tight, and then you just have to drive by and make the right reads. And some big guys like to sit back, and usually then I'll do a couple of hesitation dribbles as if I'm gonna blow by them, and then I'll shoot my shot. So whenever it comes to one-on-one, you have to create. I always think about creating an advantage. So if I see the guys already back, I know my advantage is my shot. I can raise up into my shot, or I can make them think I'm raising up to my shot and drive by him. So I think it's a game of reads. I don't go into one-on-one situations thinking, okay, I'm going to shoot this one 100%. I get into it thinking, okay, I might shoot it here. And if he doesn't react to it, I'm gonna let it fly. But if he reacts, then I'll make a hesitation dribble and drive, and then make the next read. If the weak side helps, I swing it to the corner. If the big guy steps up, I throw a lob. If the strong side comes, I throw it to the strong corner. So I think it's just all about reading what the defense gives you and not having a preset, okay, I have the mismatch, I have the switch, now I'm going to shoot a three-pointer. Like, you can't have a preset thing in your mind. You have to think, create an advantage, and then read. So that's kind of how I get into it.
Thanks.
Constant decision making all the time. No
Yeah.
preset thoughts.
Yeah, constant decision making. Because if a big man switches on you and you think, okay, I'm gonna shoot a step back to my right, and he guards that, now you're out there, you're gonna travel, you're gonna turn the ball over, you're gonna make the bad decision. But if you get into it and you see, okay, he's playing me to the left, I'm gonna go between my legs, force him to take his top foot backwards, and then make a read off of that. Maybe shoot my step back then, or maybe I have him beat so I go all the way to the basket, and then you have to read the next guy. So it's literally all reads.
This was exactly what I explained to coaches just before you connected. I compared you and Vasa. I thought Vasa has to know what's going to happen next 6-7 seconds. This is how he likes. But you just read the first move, you then attack when you see advantage, and then you think about the second move. Then you read, and then you make another decision, and then you move on. Yes.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ahmet, your turn.
Thanks, Coach. Hi, Shane. Thanks for joining us tonight. Glad to have you here as a Turkish national also.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice for undersized and agile young players in terms of covering the height disadvantage on the court? I mean, being shortest one and being X factor for every game is tough, and you did it. Most of the time, and you got that Allen Iverson vibe, which we like most.
Yeah, I like that too.
Thanks.
But I think you just have to play to your strength. So I know I'm not the biggest guy. I know I'm not the strongest guy. So I'm not gonna sit there and fight you. I'm not gonna. If a guy tries to back me down, I'm a plant my foot, and if he gets through me, I'm gonna try to steal the ball. You just have to use your advantage more than they do. So I'm gonna be the quickest guy. I'm gonna be the most agile guy. I have to get all the long rebounds. I have to play faster. I have to do the things that these other guys can't do because that's what I'm good at. And they're gonna try to take advantage of what I can't do well. So they're gonna try to post me up. They're gonna try to, make me feel my height, make me feel my size. But I make them feel my size in a different way and make it as my advantage by running by everybody and tiring people out. So in the fourth quarter, I have energy and they don't. It's just, you have to use what you're given, because I'm not going to grow 5 inches tomorrow and be able to play with my back to the basket. I'm going to have to always be quicker, faster, and make decisions and reads at a half-second speed when these bigger guys have more time because they're bigger and they can step around and do certain things. So I would say just, obviously working a lot on your skill, because you're going to have to be the most skilled if you're going to be a short guy out there. But just using what your strengths are against these guys' weaknesses more than they can, exploit your weakness. I would say that's how I make sure I try to be the X factor every game.
Thanks.
Murat, mikrofon.
Pardon. What do you advise to the young guards?
To young guards, I would say you know, just be insane about working on the weaknesses in your game. I think everybody, not as soon as you pick up a basketball, but after a few weeks of picking up a basketball, you know what you're going to be good at, or you know what you probably can improve and be good at, and you know what you're just not going to be good at. And, you know, for an example, when I was younger, I could only go to my right hand. I was at right hand everything, right hand shooting, right hand dribbling. If I put it in my left hand up until the age of probably 10, 11, 12 years old, I would turn it over. And then luckily and unluckily for me, I broke my right wrist. So I broke this wrist, and then I couldn't dribble, shoot, do anything with my right hand for 6 weeks. So I love basketball so much. I was out there doing everything with my left hand. And now if you watch games, I'm stronger going to my left hand, which not many people think because I'm a right-handed player. So I go to my left hand and I make a lot of decisions off my left hand. So I would say for the younger guys, it's younger guards, it's extremely important to be able to go both ways, because if you're predictable and they can sit on one side of your body and make you go a way that you're uncomfortable in, then you're just not going to be a high level player. So I would say be able to go both ways is extremely important. Be able to have different type of shots around the rim if you're not going to be a guy who can, you know, dunk on people, which I'm not a guy. I can try, but it's not going to be successful most of the time. So, you know, I have a lot of different layups. I have spin, I have floaters, I have, you know, jumping into guys and drawing contact. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I would say about being an undersized guard that can help you take your game to the next level. But I would say the most important I'll say three things are the most important. As a smaller guard, you have to be able to shoot the three, because if you can't shoot and you're short, people are just going to sit back in the lane and you're not going to be very effective offensively. Two, you have to be able to go both ways, because you have to be able to keep a defense on its feet and make reads going both ways, passes, shots, you know. And then I would say three, you have to, I said going both ways, shoot the three, and then having the shots around the rim, like getting in the lane, being able to make the correct read and throw a floater or throw an alley-oop or kick it out to the three. So I would say those are the three most important things about being an undersized guard.
Okay. There are two more questions. One of them is why you decide to go in a different team. You are looking for who is the coach or who is the system. How do you decide to go in a new team? The coach.
I think the decision to go to a new team would just be opportunity. Which team gives you the best opportunity to continue to grow as a player? If that's, you know, a team that's promising you 25 minutes and a starting role, then that's the team. If it's a team that's promising you 17 minutes and not a strong role, I don't think that's a fit. So I think when making the decision on when to switch teams or how to switch teams, it goes through a selection process of things that are important to you. And if you have most of the things that are important, then I think that's how you make a decision to leave a team and join a team, or to get traded from a team, or, you know, ask for a buyout or whatever the case is. So I would say just like playing time, opportunity, system are all very equally important when making a decision on whether to switch teams or not.
Okay. Last question, I think. On EuroLeague, which team or which player defends you well?
I hate playing against Zalgiris. Like I do not like playing against them. They are very, very disciplined. They show on every single pick and roll, and they have a lot of guys that can switch and be more agile big men. So I don't like playing against Zalgiris. Obviously, I've had some successes against them, and we beat them majority of the times we've played them over the last 2 years. But that's a team that always has a very good defensive scheme, and they execute their scheme perfectly pretty much every single time down. So against teams like them, like this year, I had 0 points in the first half against them at home, and then the second half, I honestly don't think I scored off of one play. the entire half. I think it was just all random transition, getting to the basket, one-on-one, stuff like that, because they're going to take away all your sets. If you get into a play, they're going to know exactly how to defend it. So I would say that's probably the team I dislike playing against.
Okay, Coach Ömer, would you like to ask the question or do you want me to read it? Okay, Coach Ömer asked this one. You are probably the best offensive player in EuroLeague, but do you ever force yourself to become a lockdown defender? Plus, do you have special strategy on ball defense?
I think in certain situations, I can become a lockdown defender. That was my main goal in the NBA. My last year with Boston, it was like a late game ball hawk type of situation. So, and I think you can tell in certain games where my defensive intensity rises later in the game when things start to get more important. My defensive intensity rises, but I would definitely say that I am a spacious on-ball defender for the most part. I think a lot of it is, I'm not the main defender on our team. I don't always guard the best guy. Sometimes I do, but most times I don't. And I'm always trying to help. I'm an over helper. I always try to help everybody tagging, and a lot of the time my guy gets open threes because of it. But when it's crucial, critical playoff time, Final Four time, end of the game time, winning time, I would say that I'm a pretty good defender when I need and want to be. What would you say, Jakob?
I agree. I really agree. When you really want it, I think you are maybe one of the best three defenders in our team with Doğuş, Vasa, and you.
Those is a
And
different level.
I always want to keep you on the court on last shots when we are on defense on the last shots, where coach usually prefers bigger size. I believe you can stay on the court, maybe steal, deny.
I appreciate it.
Okay, I think last question is from me. How do you describe a leadership on the court from your eyes?
I would say leadership on the court varies from team to team. I would say some teams have that one guy, that one vocal leader that can say something and everybody listens. And there's some teams that have a bunch of guys that can speak up, and it's like a we're all in this together type leadership. And there's one or two guys who can, really, really say what they want to say. But I would say on our team, at least, I feel like everybody has partial leadership. There's guys that talk more than others. There's guys that don't say much. And I would say on the court, I try to put off my leadership on the court in a very calm way. I want my teammates to always look at me and see nothing. See, okay, Shane's not scared. Shane's not nervous. Shane's not excited. Shane's just here. He's in the moment. He's focused, and he's ready to win this game. However, we need to win it. And I think that's how I try to get my leadership out there. Sometimes I will have my moments where I say what I need to say, and I'm pretty aggressive when I say it. But I would say for the most part, I'm very even keel, no emotions, always there for my teammates, telling them, shoot more, do what you got to do, don't worry about it, and stuff like that. But I would say, leadership varies from team to team. And if you had to ask about my leadership on this team, I would say it's more, lead by example as opposed to lead by being vocal. Doge and Brian are vocal leaders. And then you have guys who, will say their things here and there, Vasa, Kruno, myself. And then, we got everybody who just pitches in here and there. So I think we have a good mix. And I think that's why all of our relationships are good with each other. And I think that's why we're, the best team in Europe.
Okay, you finish it very strong. First of all, thank you for your time, and please say hello to your dad and send our celebration. Yakup, thank you very much. Cenk, sana da teşekkürler. So have a safe and healthy days.
Yes, you guys too. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody be safe, man.
Thank you.
See you, Shane. I'll be in touch. Thanks
All right.
again. Bye.
Peace.
Bye bye.